All right, and I think we are live. Hopefully that worked.
What's up, guys?
Hello, everybody. Good to see y'all. What's up, Bushi Tong? Good to always see you in the chat. What's up, Ali? Christopher Ledger.
Ali and Bushi Tong, always reliable.
Yes. Oh, we got Nick Urbani in the chat as well.
What's up?
What's up, Nick? Is Nick in the other room?
Yeah, why don't you just come on in here, dude?
Doesn't want to hang out with us. All right. Yeah, welcome. This is episode 6.
Is
I
it?
believe. Of
Man.
Irresponsibly Long. I know. Feels like we've been doing it
We are prolific,
forever.
man.
Yes. Yes. Good times. It's been a fun week. We are sending on Ethereum right now. So I just want to take a moment to...
Wow. Yeah. So David Hoffman's in town visiting, and I feel like all is right in the universe because
Yes.
ETH is sending right at the same time.
Of course, this is
simultaneously.
Ethereum sending. It's not like the Optimism version of sending, which is just like a...
Oh my gosh, I love optimism right now. I'm a holder.
Looking at my scribbles that I still have on the
Are you
chart
pulling
there.
it? Should
Yeah,
I go to switch to
close
the chart?
enough.
Should I switch to the
Yeah,
chart? here?
show the people the Optimism chart. My goodness, Optimism
Let's go.
absolutely
Candle.
sent today. It was a day for the ETH ecosystem. Was that 30%?
Jesus.
Is that a real life?
That didn't happen today.
Wait,
did it?
what?
Is that a daily candle?
It's a 30. We had a 30% daily candle on OP today.
That scares me.
My goodness. Big market movers in the ETH ecosystem. ARB had a pretty decent day as well. Nowhere near what Optimism did though. But what I'm really concerned with at the moment is Ethereum, because I have a large bag. And
Don't we all?
yeah, I know there's some people looking at this like, oh wow, 5%, cool. Bonk pumped like 40% this morning.
God, bonk is unstoppable.
But this is a pretty nice move for Ether. We are just broken out with authority of a nearly 2-year accumulation range on ETH, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. But the other thing I'm feeling really good about is the ETH BTC ratio. I have been bullish on this stupid thing at the depths of despair, while others were hating.
Ben Cowan.
Yes, it looks like we had a little manipulation move here. I got to clean up my charts for this show. My goodness. Yeah, we ran that little capitulation low, just kind of nicked it, and then sent off the bottom there. So yeah, hoping we get a structure break to the upside and just continue this move up. I think we've talked before about how I can see ETH ripping like 30% versus Bitcoin. Absolutely no problem.
Would love that. I would love to see that. I mean, I'm allocated for that.
Yeah, and I'm one of the big questions I'm wrestling with right now is how much ETH do I own? How much Solana do I own? I do want to get into a bigger Solana bag, but I've been hesitant to do that in the last few weeks because I kind of think the Sol ETH ratio is kind of at a local top. And we got the ETF right around the corner. Ethuary is coming up. So I feel like it's ETH's time to shine. Everybody's hating on it. I heard people talking about the Bitcoin Solana barbell. It's just been left for dead, and it's the perfect time for it to just absolutely rip in our faces.
Okay, I like that. I think Ethuary, I'm on board with, and then also isn't like the simplest rotation if Bitcoin ETF happens. We've seen how prices front run the ETF. If Bitcoin ETF gets approved, then the next logical move is like money piles in to Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple.
I mean, ETF. When's the deadline for that? Like March or something?
It's later than the January deadline for Bitcoin. I'm not even sure.
Maybe they'll just like snap approve both of them at the same time.
No, I kind of want my window for the pre ETF pump. Don't just approve them both.
How are you feeling about the ETF right now? Are you you with the rest of the entire planet and is all the news?
Okay, so I was thinking this, like I assign like a very high probability to an approval, right? But I was planning for the worst. Like what happens if it gets denied? I think that would just be
oh yeah, we're so fucked.
it would be over. And like I'm planning for what I would do. What I would do is I would sell a third of my entire crypto portfolio the moment it happens. Maybe even half of it, all of it. Half of the entire thing.
Like all of it.
I don't think I would sell all of it because there might be this fake denial thing that
would be funny if somebody pulled off another fake news thing and it was
right. So I think I want to sell a third right away and just sort of let the dust settle a little bit. But I'm assigning like an almost 0% probability of that happening. So that's not really even on my radar. But it's something I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it's a foregone conclusion in my mind, and people who are way smarter than me on this topic. So I'm just trying not to even.
Right.
That'd be so bad. That'd be so bad. That'd be like the ultimate rug in a long series of mega rugs, and we don't want that to happen.
God, I was laughing today because I was watching CNBC just in the background as I always do, and the trad talking heads were looking at the price of Bitcoin, and they were like, these fucking crypto investors, man, they won again. They win again, and they're like, as long as you stayed out of jail and you invested in crypto, you made it. Congratulations. And I was laughing because it feels good.
Did you see that Jonah Van Borg tweet about like how you're gonna feel really, really bad if you don't have like an uncomfortable amount of your net worth in crypto?
Yeah, 5%. 5%.
He just got like dragged by everybody.
Uncomfortable.
But he's like, I was talking about normies, you asshole. Like everybody on crypto Twitter is like, what?
Yeah, everyone's like, I'm 150%.
I definitely got over 100 last bull market at one point. I was fully a moron.
Yeah.
And that was probably a bit much.
Depends on when you timed it.
Yeah. I timed it not super well. Probably cost me a little bit of money, but I didn't get hurt too bad.
So I think it's interesting right now because I'm not fully deployed. I'm not fully allocated. I have.
What are you waiting for?
That's the question that I think I want to talk about. It's like, is now the time to just send it all in? Because I have been sending it, in increments over the past 2 months, and I'm kind of on this nice cadence that I like. But is that irresponsible in a way? Like, this should just push your chips in when you got a good hand.
So I heard Avi Feldman and Jonah talking today about what's going to happen with the ETF, and they share a sentiment that like I share at the moment, because I don't know, it's so weird in crypto. I feel like we're always like, no, this isn't going to be sell the news, and it's literally always sell the news, like every single time. But something does feel different about this. And what they were saying is that one of two things probably happens. Either like we actually just dump really hard before the ETF, or this thing rips for like a month or two after, way longer and higher than people think it's going to. But it doesn't give people that very obvious, like, oh, it's announced, it pumps like another 10%, and then we dump sort of thing.
Well, let me ask you this. Like, do you think that the sell the news, like, let's say it does manifest, but could it be isolated just to Orange Coin?
No, I don't think so.
If Orange Coin goes down, the whole market is going to bleed.
Yeah. If Bitcoin like there's very few scenarios where like Bitcoin tanks and like alts do well. Like sometimes Bitcoin will tank and then alts will dip, but it'll kind of recover. But then alts end up ripping up from there, and everything's fine, even if Bitcoin doesn't kind of go back to where it was. But that initial sell off, like you're usually getting wrecked in alts. Yeah, there is something in my head that is telling me that we are gonna do like the dump before the ETF thing, and it's like we're watching price just run and run and run and like what happens if what do we get to like 52K before the ETF comes out? What's it gonna do? Like rip to new all-time highs?
I'm like above 50% conviction that it's another sell the news. It's always been sell the news every single time in crypto.
I know, and I feel like I'm getting like fancy play syndrome here. It's like when poker, you know the way to play a hand, but you just like he won't expect me. I know I'm supposed to just bet, but
I
I'm
want to
like
get tactical.
check call, bet small, check, like, and then you fuck the whole hand up just doing nonsense when you knew how to play the hand. So it is probably a little FPSy here as we
what do you call that? Fancy play syndrome.
Fancy play syndrome, FPS. Which is poker has so many good words,
right?
sayings that just translate.
It's just an indication that this is all gambling.
Yeah, there's an uncanny amount of carryover, obviously, between poker and crypto, and poker and trading, for sure. I think the main way this is like affecting me is like it's making me not want to. The way I'm preparing is like, okay, I'm not going to necessarily just sell before the ETF unless I see some really crazy setup in the chart. But I'm just gonna be like, okay, if we do dump, I'll just buy my alt bags then, because I have like the teaser alt bag, so I don't want to completely kill myself, but I'm definitely underexposed to.
That's right. You got the dust. You got the dust exposed.
I've got the dust bag. I've been adding to some of my dust bags. God, I listened to the Celestia interview on Bankless this morning at the dog park, and it just got me so bullish on ETH, and I started thinking about ETH this cycle, and I'm just like, man, like, I don't know, we go to $10 trillion market cap, right? And then ETH is 20, ETH DOM at 20%, which is kind of what it
Sounds
typically
reasonable.
is,
Yeah.
right? Like, $2 trillion ETH market cap.
That's
like,
a 10x.
That's a smooth 10x from here. It's 20K. But like, do you have to add a premium on top of that for ETF? Is that like plus 5 points, plus 10 points?
Getting kind of fancy again. Getting a little fancy here.
30%? Is 30% ETH DOM like a doable target? That'd be 30K. I feel like everybody's like kind of. I like what's happening because everybody's really settled in now and like, oh no, 10K, 7K, 8K. Like everybody's kind of gone reactionary from the last cycle, and now I'm starting to debate in my head like, wait, are we gonna actually just way overshoot the opposite direction?
So I like where this conversation's going because we were actually talking about this last night at the bar after we recorded the Alfalfa pod. We were talking about like how everybody gets a little PTSD from their previous scars, right? So we all just went through this bear market, and we've been through several of them. A lot of people have been through several of them, where you draw down 80% plus, and you're just like timid now, and you forget how much these can really just rip.
Yeah, everybody's so scarred right now, right? And I'm looking at these altcoin charts, and I'm like, holy shit! Like we have just begun, I think, to rip. Like I was showing you guys like the near chart yesterday because I got kind of bullish on near. I'm like kind of really into this like idea that we're just gonna have like 10,000 L2s and
I agree.
like in stuff like Tia is gonna be I want a much bigger Tia bag. I've decided. I think Tia is like such an amazing way to play this sort of like hybrid.
Can you give a brief synopsis of your thesis on the TIA play? Because I'm a no TIA bag holder.
I mean, TIA is just it's basically just like a data availability play. It makes it very, very easy for anybody to just launch these roll-ups in a cost-effective manner. And like we're gonna get to the point, I think, pretty soon. You just click button and launch roll-up. Everybody's the apps are just all going to be their own roll-ups.
So that was my thesis for optimism. It's like the same thesis, I guess, for TIA.
I don't think so. I think that this isn't necessarily equivalent to Superchain. There could be some carryover there. I'm not so convinced that L2's like optimism and ARB are going to sustainably pump. Like I want to hold them forever. I would much rather own something like TIA than something like OP, because TIA is going to be there, I think, no matter which iteration of this, of the kind of L2, the modular monolith, like it's going to be there. And it's like selling like the pickaxes and the shovels, and the token, the tokenomics are such that as you need the token to pay for the usage of the protocol.
Well, I like that. I have a follow-up question on TIA. Is that a fresh chart? Is that a maiden?
It's a fresh chart. It looks amazing.
So we talked about this last night as well. How much
and we didn't get to see the TIA chart last night because we don't do charts anymore.
Well, so how much you love this idea of a fresh chart?
I love fresh charts.
So I'm gonna throw the chart on the screen.
It's pure as the driven snow. It just goes up.
Wow.
Nobody's down.
Yeah.
Everybody's up bigly.
Everybody's up.
Just consolidate, pump, consolidate, pump, consolidate, pump.
So I can't see from here. What's the level?
$100 TIA, baby.
Where are we at right now on TIA?
We're at about $9.70.
$9.70.
I think we ticked 11 briefly. So fresh chart, looking good. I think I said the other fresh chart I really like is we got fresh chart with Beam now.
Oh yeah,
we got the rebrand. So now we just
Merit Circle.
Merit Circle, it's just Beam. Look at that beautiful chart. Up only. So that's a good fresh chart play for you.
So as long as there's no left-hand side of a chart, there's nothing to really go off of. You're immediately in price discovery.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing how that works. It's like I love these like shenanigans. Now we just need Ethereum to do like the stock split basically, and just divide multiply the supply times 1,000.
Oh, you want to go
$2 Ethereum?
The unit bias move,
dude.
That would be epic.
If Ethereum could just pull that off, like if they just 100x the supply, the coin would immediately double.
To be fair,
immediately double.
This is just pure hopium. Like that's not even on the radar.
People have talked about it. I think there are technical reasons why it might not be a good idea to to attempt to do it, but people have been talking about it, and I don't think it's dumb at all to talk about. Like it is absolutely a thing that like normies don't want to buy like Bitcoin. It's I'm gonna buy 0.003 Bitcoin. It's just you just feel poor.
Can I tell you that I actually, when you guys introduced me to crypto in 2019, I actually did exactly what you're saying. Bitcoin was probably like 16,000 and ETH was $400, and I was like, I don't want to buy that. 16,000, no. I'll take the $400 one, and I just bought ETH instead.
That is such a big number.
Yeah, I bought ETH because of low unit bias.
Yeah, I mean people are dumb,
right? But if it's predictable, then it works.
People are predictably dumb.
But I don't think that here's the thing about the ETH dev community. It's like they're not optimizing for price, really.
I feel like they should be to an extent because
that's your security budget.
It's good for the success of your project.
I thought about it too when Vitalik and Justin Drake were talking, over the last cycle. They were saying like, well, when you're proof of stake consensus, like your security budget is your token price, however much that is staked. So it does matter.
Not with Eigenlayer now.
Yeah, well, that seems pretty bullish to me, actually.
Everything is so bullish for you. I'm just seeing this thing breaking out, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing could go to like 40K. Nobody's even thinking about it anymore. Now everybody's just like, oh, Solana is cool, and I'm just thinking like, oh my god, gaming, and like thousands of rollups, and like.
So I think you asked Nick and I last night at the bar. Over cocktails, you were saying, like, what if ETH actually goes to, a level way beyond what we're dreaming on, like 25K, maybe more. And Nick and I were both like, well, we would have been out long before then. Like, I would take a lot of ETH off the table at 8K or so, something like that.
I think the magic, like, holy crap level that is theoretically possible, but that nobody really thinks we will reach, like this cycle, is 50K.
Yeah, dude. No one's thinking about 50K.
Well, I mean, so what is Bitcoin Dom is like it's like 60% or something. It's probably like 50 something right now, right? So you basically have this like mega flippening of ETH, of ETH flipping Bitcoin, taking Bitcoin's like dominance over, and then we also get like a $10 trillion crypto market cap.
It's not. It's actually you can actually kind of like reason your way to that number, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen,
Right.
but it could. It's non-zero, and I like that it could happen. I like that we can dream big right now. Like we are just on the cusp of finally doing things in crypto and having people actually use this. The infrastructure's there; it's been built out. Like we're making these apps. Like we just need one person to create like one freaking app. We're taking like millions of shots at bat, basically. Like, and one of them is going to hit, and then I could just see everything coming on ETH in a particular world, and I need to take a shower.
Yeah, you're getting a little too hot,
a
bud.
little too hot and bothered here. Oh, I know. I've been such a I spent so long being a bear, and it feels good to just like be an optimist again.
But hold on. How certain are you that this is the true bull market? We're like fully back. We're back. Like it's bull market. We're totally back.
90+%.
90+%. I'm lower, but I love your optimism. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's nothing in. I think what I'm being driven by is my emotions. There's nothing that I see in the world that tells me otherwise. I think you're probably right. It's just the scars. It's like the emotional damage that's sort of like making me reluctant.
I mean, we've been the just redheaded stepchildren of the financial world for forever, right? It's like it's been years at this point. And like I feel like we have not even begun to get to the point where the fucking Jason Calacanis's of the world are just going to be looking from the outside in with crippling FOMO as like all of our bags are just incredibly mooning, and only those of us who have like brain damage and stuck around this long are like are participating in it. And then we're going to get the institutional pylon with the ETFs, and then like actual building of products that might actually do things and attract users and like sustainable usage on chain.
Right. Okay, so let me just edify you there, because like the all-in guys are full-on mercenaries, and they like to bag on crypto mostly, but there will come a time when there's like a 180-degree shift where they're like, oh no, crypto is the future. I mean, like, what's his name? Chamath has always been a big Bitcoin guy, I guess. But like, there's gonna be a moment where JCal is gonna be like, no, you guys gotta own crypto for sure. We were like super early to crypto, and like, we've always been crypto, and that's coming.
Chris in the chat said if ETH goes to 50K, he's buying a Ferrari. No, you're not. You're gonna sell it at like 6K. We know you're gonna sell it too early.
So will I.
Like actually hold it. Like if it goes to that level, you're gonna hold it all the way with your whole bag and like top ticket. It's just
never. I mean, here's something that's another useful piece of alpha. I think is that like you can take some off the table. You never want to like take everything off the table, right?
Never sell anything. I learned that with Pancake Swap.
Never sell the entire bag, but like you can take profits off the table, and you can leave a little runner, a little moon bag. Mm-hmm. And I think that's cool.
Always leave a moon bag, even if it's just a little bit. There's no point in selling. Like it's just FOMO insurance. It's just kill yourself insurance, jump off a building insurance, whatever you want to call it. You need that. You need that real bad.
Chris, he says you sound like a top signal right now, but I think this is. But I think this is like a good.
This is the time to sound like this,
but
not
also
like a year from now.
But this is a good indication, I think, that we're all suffering from the emotional damage of like the 80% drawdown.
I mean, I've been doing this for a long time now, like months, like almost the entire year. I've been like, it's a bull market. The chart looks good. Numbers going up. Everybody's like, what are you doing? Buy. Like there's a point in like the spring where like, I initially bought at the beginning of the year and I was like, oh, it's going to be like a trade to 2K ETH. And we got there. But then like I realized kind of late spring, especially early summer with the SEC stuff and the BlackRock, I was like, oh no, this is this is it. Like this is just a retrace on the way.
God, I wanna give you a bit of a golf clap for that comment alone. You like when BlackRock announced that they were going to apply for a Bitcoin ETF. You said, and I think this is verbatim, but it is paraphrasing. It's like, guys, this is it. BlackRock is in. Now is the time. This is it.
It was very simple. It was just as simple as like FTX blowing up being the bottom, which like I kind of like I was too traumatized. Like at the point, I was just like, no, I had full blown trauma at the end of last year.
Well,
for
like
sure.
FTX blowing up, I couldn't tell if it was going to be the bottom at $800 ETH because you don't know what's lurking beneath. Like there could be like a liquidation cascade that triggers even further.
It's very scary.
So like you can never like I don't think timing the bottom is as easy as just being like BlackRock is in, time to go in. That to me is much easier.
Yeah, I think the BlackRock thing was easier than FTX for sure, absolutely. But it is what it is. You're not fully in yet, but maybe you should. What percentage are you in?
Sorry, I was just about to pour wine, but I'm like probably like 70% in, and like my ETH bag is fucking fully loaded. So
That's good. Okay, that's good. 30% cash is
all right. Let me pour wine.
is nice to have. Yeah, get yourself some wine. You deserve it. I might need a little top up too here. This podcasting is being it's been really hard on my liver, especially last night. Oh my god, that was a good one. What did I want to? Oh, there's been some other crazy shit happening. I mean, have you been following? Did you follow the Jito?
Well, I've just seen it
airdrop?
trending and stuff.
God, man, people legit like probably the greatest airdrop of all time for. I don't know. DYDX was actually pretty good, but like Jito, you could have actually just staked like $30 of Solana and made like $12,000.
What?
Yeah,
I thought airdrops like that don't exist anymore.
I didn't either, but they do. They do, and I miss this.
Well,
and I'm seething, obviously.
Is this sort of the beginning of Solana airdrop season?
Yes. And I think Solana airdrop season is a very real thing. It's something. It's on my to-do list of stuff I really have to do. Like in farm Solana airdrop is like, if you are out there and you don't have a lot of money and you want to like dramatically increase your portfolio, I think there's no better thing you can do with your time right now than just farm these Solana ecosystem airdrop. There's so many. DeFi Llama, by the way, has like a list, I think, of on the website of Solana protocols with no token. Those are all going to have tokens. So you should just go use all of those. I think I got some of them lifted. We got Drift, Camino, Tensor. Oh, that's going to be a good one. Wormhole, Margin Fi, Mayan, Meteora, Sega, Zeta, Phantom, Bird Eye, Backpack, Cube. I don't even know what 90% of these things are because I've barely touched the Solana ecosystem in like 2 years. Like I have to dust off the old Solana ledger and
I just want to
pop back in
say
there.
to anybody who's listening that might feel lost with these Solana airdrops, we in our Discord we have a thread called airdrop Alfalfa or something where
It's a vibrant thread, yeah.
where people are on there and they're communicating, and I think people would be happy to help guide anyone who's
Yeah, it's a
looking
good
for.
point. You can find a Discord at alfalfapod.com and then hop in the airdrop alpha
Yeah.
thread. And that's it. That's a good one. Everybody's hustling in there. That's what I should have done for Arbitrum, but I'm a moron and did not do that. C'est la vie. What else did I do? Oh, I added to my. I've decided like I'm very into the. Have I talked about Bookie Bot on this show before?
Yeah, and I actually pulled up the chart today. So you talked about BookieBot. I'm intrigued. I would like to see what you have for us on BookieBot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like I don't have like influence, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well-
but like I never wanted to be one of these like they see these Twitter accounts. They got like 500,000 followers and they tweet about like a 800K market cap
So
token.
I just want to say that
it's just so
BookieBot.
scammy.
When I looked at BookieBot, the I guess the coin ticker is BB. And I pulled it up on just CoinGecko or whatever, and I saw that the market cap of this thing is like 2
It's
million.
2 million right now.
2 million.
Yeah.
Like this is one of those things that can fucking send. So
This is definitely a lotto ticket.
all right, I'm switching to the chart.
Yeah, I actually do have it. I don't know if this chart has all of the. Oh yeah, it does have all the data. So yeah, I mean, I actually accumulated this thing almost at like the stone bottom. So it was a nice move, but it looks like it's moving.
I don't know. What's your interpretation of this chart? Because it looks like I don't know. This looks like kind of chaos to me.
I mean, it looks like a breakout. It's a pretty big. It's a pretty substantial move. I mean, you're talking about like a nearly 200% candle, basically there. Little retrace now, and I think it probably goes higher. I'm not sold on how much I can do TA on these little tiny market cap.
Like
I go back and forth.
It might not apply as cleanly as it does on like NASDAQ futures or something.
Yeah, but I made a trade on the like Astro Pepe the other day.
And it held clean to the.
Yeah, it just boing right out of the box. So
Okay, so like one thing that I would look at here is that it had this fucking absolute surge, and then it has retraced, which I've sort of learned through you and ICT principles, where it's like you look at that surge as like a new market structure, like this thing's going up, and then you would actually look to buy on that sort of retrace back towards like the 50% level, which it looks like it's kind of doing.
Yeah, it's not quite that simple all the time. And this is like one of those plays where it's like a 0 or it's like 100x probably, honestly. So like I just wanted to have some. I bought a little more before this actually because this is a good example of me. Like I have an idea. I'm like, oh, this is maybe a good idea, so I'll buy something. So I keep thinking about it. Like I bought this a long time ago, actually. Well, a long time ago in crypto land, like 2 months ago.
Ages ago.
But I wanted to keep an eye on it because like I'm very into the GambleFi narrative.
People in crypto like gambling?
Yeah. And I have long thought that sports betting in particular is a really good use case
it's like a
crypto.
Ideal use case for blockchain technology, honestly. Like I don't know if this is going to be the winner of that narrative, but this is a way to get exposure.
Yeah. I mean, like with these like super low market cap projects, right? It's often very apparent that there's just nothing there. It's just smoke and mirrors. Like the dev is maybe doesn't even know how to develop, and like the roadmap, they just like launch, like they're just announced like meaningless partnerships, over and over again. They don't build anything. It's just obviously but this is like a working product, right?
So can I ask you
Telegram bot.
Can I ask you about the product? Because like I can't help myself. I want to know about sort of like the business model behind anything. So this thing is a Telegram bot, is that right?
Yeah, so this actually ties into the airdrop farming because another thing I want to do is farm. So there's a protocol called Azuro. And it's basically like a decentralized, like it like you can basically LP and provide liquidity for sports bets, right? And then people are building apps on top of that protocol. So Bookie Bot is an app that's more of like a consumer-facing thing that is built on top of the Azuro protocol. So the liquidity for these bets lies on Azuro, but then like Bookie Bot, there's a couple other, I think, like kind of prominent ones that are built on top of this, doing different approaches to getting it, but they're built on this protocol. And if you go to the Azuro protocol, like you'll see that you can LP.
And the Azuro protocol, I'm guessing you're alluding to, doesn't have a token yet.
Does not have a token yet. And I think this is potentially like a really good airdrop to farm.
What blockchain does that exist on?
I think it's ETH and Polygon.
Okay.
Yeah, what's interesting, so there's 2 main ways I know to farm the airdrop. One is to bet, which, I don't really want to
I do.
Yeah, but you can farm this airdrop by sports betting. I
bet sports on fucking Bovada website. Like I would probably rather use blockchain.
Yeah, so I think if you like use something like Boogie Bot and you bet, like you're farming points for the Azuro airdrop. What's interesting though is like you can farm this airdrop by LPing. And the last I checked, I don't. Here, let me pull it up
Should I,
before you.
go to
Now,
camera
let
three?
me see if I can pull it up on the. I'm kind of curious.
I'm gonna go to camera 3.
Got it. Okay, so this is
Azzurro.
Azzurro. Okay. So yeah, so you can LP for this on Polygon. The APR is really good because people lose money gambling.
So you can just stake USDT.
You can farm this airdrop by LPing USDT on Polygon and make 17% in the process. And you don't really have to do anything, right? It's not like you're farming ZK Sync and sibling like 19,000 different wallets and like using all the protocols once a week. You just kind of deposit.
And this might be beyond the scope of your knowledge here, just because I know that you like to just throw dust around a lot of times. But like, do you know if there are some like tokenomics that exist where you like stake your USDT, you capture a bit of like gambling losses, or is that an element of it?
Yeah, I think that's where the APR mostly comes from. I think it comes from people losing.
Okay.
So kind of an interesting play. So I'm going to be doing that. As with all of my farming, you don't put everything in the damn pool,
Because this thing could rug so easily.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think it's gonna rug. I think it's like a fairly well backed project, but you have to worry about like exploits or hacks. You just never know in crypto.
I want to try using this thing actually and report back on like my user experience.
I used the Telegram bot.
You made a wager?
Pretty good. It's pretty good. And what got me really excited about this was I've been kind of following the project because I'm just like, all right, is this like the 9 billionth cut? Like people just like there's a couple other coins I'm in. Like, I don't even want to talk about them because I know they're complete bullshit. Like there's one that's just building like we're building zero knowledge gaming L2, and it's just like, yeah, you're just gonna be one of like 9,000
Playing a narrative.
people who just deploy like a roll up this cycle, and like they're just doing the like, we're announcing partnerships and we're airdropping to penguins, and like I know it's nonsense, so I don't even want to talk about it, but like I think I can like triple my money and get out. But this one, like there's some competency there. Like I'm not saying like this is going to like 100% go to like $1 billion market cap, but like I see some competency, like enough where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more to this. And what's cool now is they're building like an actual like an app. It's not just a Telegram bot, like app user interface, like you place wager, gasless transactions, which is going to be super key for normies. And I'm just like envisioning like there is a small chance, right, that something like this could be a thing that people you and I know who like to gamble and like currently do it like. Yeah, you get some like local bookie, and they get the website that like provides the bookie service, and you pay the guy.
No, can I tell you how fragmented sort of like the sports betting landscape is? It's actually terrible. Like, because this thing is allowed, it's actually like legal in several states, but not in others.
Mm-hmm.
And then like on a federal level, like you can like deposit money into Bovada, which I think exists in like the Bahamas or the Cayman Islands or something. But then like getting your money out of there, sometimes your bank like blocks that transaction, like that withdrawal transaction. So like there is a huge opportunity for like just connecting your crypto wallet, depositing stables, and then wagering from there in a permissionless manner. I think that would be awesome, actually.
Yeah. And like with other things, crypto, when people are playing with crypto, it doesn't feel like real money.
Totally, yeah.
Like, I got some dust. I'll wait. I'm like, I got like $200 in dust on Matic, whatever. But like in real life, they had to fork over $200 cash. Like,
True.
I don't know. That feels a little whack. I think there's okay. Yeah, I'm pulling up there's like a Dune
Okay, I'm
dashboard
switching to the Dune dashboard here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's been like 2.3 million in
So are you looking at deposits
wagers.
or
This is like wagers.
wagers?
Yeah. And The tokenomics are, I think they seem good. It's got like kind of like one of those weird like sell taxes, which I don't necessarily like, but
And they're taking juice on every wager as well, probably, just like how Vegas does.
Yeah. So I think the way it works is that the Zero protocol takes like a small cut, but then like you as like the app can like take like a bigger cut
additional
of that, right?
Yeah.
And they do a rev share actually with token holders, so like there's like a direct tie, like the token and like the wagers.
Is this actually like crypto's first use case that makes sense? Maybe.
I mean, crypto's always just been about gambling. It's just
Right.
a giant casino, right? So
Right.
it makes sense that the first like app would just be one iteration
Yeah.
of the casino, and that's like DYDX is a great app, but it's a casino.
Right.
It's a glorified casino. It is, and so it makes sense, and I think that's okay. This is like how new tech works. But yeah, it's been encouraging to see that the wage, there was like a spike in volume for sure towards the beginning and petered off, but it's been picking up again. So I'm hopeful. I don't mean to shill this thing too hard. It's a very tiny percentage of my portfolio, but it's just kind of a thing I did today that I wanted to share with people that thought was interesting.
So on yesterday's Alfalfa pod, I mentioned how I don't like sort of just like throwing dust around to a bunch of different things. I like calling my shots and like actually allocating. But I think this is an example where I might do a little sprinkling, because like this at $2 million market cap, dust can turn into something meaningful. And like this is sort of like a lower probability thing than like I normally invest in, like a Chainlink or something. So like
you can freaking sneeze and these coins can go to 200 million market cap sometimes. Right. So it's like it's a small probability, right? But like I think it's plus EV, so I did it. I'm not sure how big I'm going to size it. Consider sizing it more.
We were like, it's funny because we were just talking with one of Nick's coworkers right before the pod, just outside the studio. He said that his friend is a doctor and just put $130K down on Bed Bath & Beyond stonk, which is like one of the old Wall Street Bets meme stocks. And that thing is, I think, probably going through bankruptcy. Like, it's just a dog shit way to sort of gamble your money away. I think this is like a better way to just be a degen, and that was our point. Like, there are better plus EV plays if you want to like degen your money.
What's the Bed Bath ticker?
Well, it was BBBY.
BBBY, does it not exist anymore?
It might not.
Oh, it's still up there.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I'm guessing it's not gonna.
There's the BBBY chart.
Oh no, he just DCA'd to zero.
So you see that big spike, probably in 2020.
That's 2023. That's earlier this year. Oh, the really big spike.
Yeah, that was like when
that's
meme
2022.
Coins, that's when meme coins were just going nuts.
Oh my god.
Or that's when meme coins were going
there's
nuts.
the spike. Wow, that thing ripped. What a chart.
No, I mean, I'd like to hear your analysis on this, but I think this thing's dead.
There's no analysis. It's just going to zero.
Yeah, this is dead.
Oh, poor guy.
So for somebody who wants to degen their money, like, and all they have is stocks as like their investable universe, they would go to something like BBBY, and like I would much rather play with Bookie Bot.
Yeah, it's a better play than I feel confident in saying that it's probably a better play than buying BBY.
But like similar, like you just got to know that you are kind of YOLOing.
I just don't get the upside, and it's
right.
dead.
Right,
there's no hope.
But
it's over.
in this person's mind, they were like, but this thing could fucking just go,
Oh man, it's better uses of 130K, I think.
Yeah, much better.
That's an understatement. Speaking of stonks, let's pivot to the stonk universe here, because we're getting a little long in the tooth in the pod. You made a play this week, I think, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've all had quite a bit of success buying Coinbase, and we've done it in different ways, like buying the common stock, buying short dated or short term call options, long term leap options, and all of those have been printing for us, the coin. So one thing that I was looking at are like, what are some like other ways to play that same narrative? And I'll just jump right to the conclusion. Robinhood. And I this is not like that early in this like rotation trade. Like Kathy Wood's been doing this, right? ARK fund has actually been like selling Coinbase, buying Robinhood. And the thesis is Robinhood actually has like 35% of US crypto retail volume. Coinbase has the rest. So if you missed Coinbase and you want to like sort of make the same play, I think this is like a pretty fair rotation. You're betting on the catch up. And if you look at Robinhood chart, which I guess you have pulled up, so I'll switch over to the chart. I think like this catch up trade is sort of manifesting now, but I'd like to hear your opinion on it.
I mean, you told me to look at the chart, and I pulled it up, and I just immediately bought.
You're like, send.
Yeah. What did I buy? What did I say I bought?
Well, it was like $10 when we were talking about it.
Did I buy 12? I think I bought $12 strike.
$12 strikes.
Yeah, Jan 25.
I did. I've done like $11, $12, but like all in like the near term, sort of like January of 24, February of 24, and then I've also bought January 25. So I'm like all over the place with this thing.
Yeah, I didn't have the time when I was thinking about it to like, oh, should I do these deep out of the money? They require like more thought. Whereas if I just buy like something that's basically at the money and it's like a leap, like I'm just, my leverage isn't really great, but I know I'm just heavily trading on like the delta. It's kind of like I'm just like kind of leverage trading the stock, which is mostly what I wanted. Yeah, dude, this thing looks good. I mean, look at this sideways. This is 2 years of sideways.
This is the kind of thing that I'm
like
guessing,
Chainlink 2.0.
Yeah, you like to see this really long accumulation range, right?
It's just like this is just a beautiful basing.
What do they call that? The longer the base?
The longer the base, the higher the chase. I don't know.
I kind of I like rhymes, man.
Yeah. The glove fits, you must have quit.
So, I mean, what about like little lower time frame stuff? Is anything on the lower time frame looking good with this chart?
So the lower time frame is just up. It's just so yeah, it looks really good. It's one of those things where I looked at it and I was like, oh shit, I might not get an entry. So I have to just market buy now.
Yeah. And I'll be like, this is something that we talked about on the pod yesterday as well, how you see something that you like, and I have this tendency to tiptoe my way into a trade. And what I've sort of noticed in myself is like when I've identified a good trade, that's usually like a time where I should be diving in head first. But I always tiptoe because I'm like, I'll get a better price. And the better price doesn't happen because it's like that was the moment you've identified it.
It's hard. There's nuance to it. Like there are times now where I look at a chart and I'm just like, I just have to buy this now. And there are times where I'm like, okay, if I FOMO now, like it's probably actually going to retrace. I'm gonna be underwater, so I'll buy like 30% or something. That's what I did with like Weight Watchers. I bought like 20% of the position, and if it like totally eats it, like I don't care. I cut 20% size for like a scratch, right? But if it like takes off and like you don't get that, you don't feel too bad because you're making money with no drawdown.
So let me give a little more context to this Robinhood trade as I conceptualize it, because like I hate this business with a passion. It's kind of like how I look at Riot and Mara, the Bitcoin miners, right? Like I don't like the business, but I like the trade. Okay, so I'm entering Robinhood. Like this, Robinhood is kind of unique, right? They don't charge trading fees, no commissions on trades in any capacity. So on Stockland and Cryptoland, no trading fees. And like in the options game, they do have small fees, but it's because the CBOE charges fees and they just pass that on to the consumer. They don't charge fees. They just sell your order flow. which I fucking hate. I hate.
You hate it from like a moral perspective or as like a business model?
I hate it from a user as like Eric Johansson. Like, I don't want to use this product because like I would rather you don't sell my order flow. I want to just like trade without you selling my order flow.
You're obviously not the target customer.
Yeah, I mean this appeals to like much smaller portfolio users, and they just want to get
People
free
who
trade.
like seeing like confetti rain on the app when you buy something.
Well, here's like an interesting use case though. It's like my wife Mina. She buys her crypto on Coinbase, and she likes to DCA in because she's not like a avid trader like we are, and I think that's probably a good way to do it. She like sets a $50 weekly purchase for Bitcoin and ETH and Solana, and Coinbase charges on that like I don't know, like $3 per trade. So it's like a 6% fucking commission. It's absurdly high. And I told her, I was like, you should actually probably just start doing this on Robinhood for free. And she was like, well, I don't like that app. Because
she likes the Coinbase app.
Well, I know that
Better than Robinhood.
She doesn't like Robinhood because of what happened in 2020 or whatever that was during the meme stonk saga, where Robinhood closed one side of the trade, but what I don't think Mina really understands is that like every brokerage did that because that was mandated from the DTCC or Citadel, and what I don't like about Robinhood is that they're very clear that their user base is not their customer because they're not getting any money from them. Their customer is Citadel, so who they're selling their order flow to, and I don't like that. Like they're obviously going to kowtow to their customer over their user base. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to own this thing long term. I fucking hate Robinhood, but from a financial perspective, their revenue is like up again back to like where it was in like the bull market. So I think this stock should probably go higher, and that's why I'm trading it. But I hate the business just the same way I hate the Bitcoin miners, but I'm long.
Feels like a pretty freaking obvious play to me. Maybe too obvious. It just looks so good in so many ways. I mean, if I like,
should I go to the chart?
Yeah.
Okay, back on the chart.
Like I love. There's a bunch of things I love. Like I love this. Like this is my, setup here. This is like the bread and butter of how I basically trade, right? Where you've got some accumulation, and then you have a, manipulation leg and a sharp V reversal, which basically tells you like that was probably manipulation. And like this looks like a bottoming pattern to me because you have like your bottom here, and then you get a decent rally off there, break some structure, and then you retest, and then from that retest put in a higher high, and then where do we bottom on the manipulation? Oops, I lost the chart. Let me bring that back for you. Let's get Hood back on the screen here. Oh God, I got the wrong.
What's happening?
Oh no, I got the wrong format load. This is like what I look at when I trade. Give people a seizure. Oh yeah, where's Hood? There's Hood. Please have my squibble. Yeah. All right, we got the scribbles on here. So yeah, like what I was saying, for those of you who have the ability to watch this on video, that manipulation leg bottoms nicely in kind of like the zone here, that gave you the double bottom. So I'm a little worried about like this is a trouble area here, from basically 10 to 16, right? Like whenever you're trading, you got to think about like, where is my trade going to run into, potential danger first? Yeah. Like where's the first sort of trouble area? And it's this, and you can see like, where did we top on that last leg up, we topped exactly. Look at that. It's exactly at the 50% level of this zone. So these zones that give you like these sort of breaks, like these key breaks, they're really key areas, and you typically get reactions off of them. And then there's also an area here, right? You've got this sort of like inverted fair value gap where you go fast up, fast down. This zone usually acts as resistance. So I think there's a pretty good chance that we top around 12 and then do a little retrace. But like if you get to buy kind of a, in this like $8 to $10 zone, that's like where I really would shove some size probably.
And like, that's so helpful. That's actually really helpful because, I don't look at this stuff, but I do think that. Well, I actually want to go back to the chart because I pulled off the chart a second. I want to see like, where do you think this thing could actually go? Say it does reject off that fair value gap and comes back down to the $8-10 range. That's where you want to long, but like where do you see this thing maybe going?
Yeah, I mean like a range projection from the manipulation leg, which is something I like to use, gives you like $18 as your first target. So that's like a point where I would take some off the table.
And is that the four standard deviation?
Yeah, four standard. But like in reality, like if you just zoom out and take a look at this stupid thing, I mean, there's not really like a super thick high time frame level until like 35, and then in reality, like closer to 40. Like so, that's a nice move. That's a nice move. Like I wouldn't be like all in holding it, taking no profits all the way to 40.
Yeah.
But I would be like, oh yeah, like this could go there, and so it could go there in a hurry, I think.
So let me go back to the fundamentals a little bit. And I haven't done like really rigorous analysis on this, but one thing I noticed was that it's at an 8 billion market cap right now, but the enterprise value, when you take like the cash from the balance sheet off of the market cap, it's much cheaper. It's like 3 billion. And that's dangerous oftentimes with like financial stonks because like they're always fiddling with their balance sheet and their cash levels.
Yeah.
But even if you use the market cap, it's trading at like 4 times sales, which is very reasonable. And compare that to Coinbase, which is probably like 14 times sales right now. It just seems like it's a cheap way to get exposure to the same thing that we got with Coinbase, and that's why I sort of like this catch-up trade.
Yeah, it's like a trade. It's like one of those trades we take in crypto all the time. You're playing like the musical chairs, hot ball of money with like the altcoin rotations. It's like a similar thing. It hasn't pumped yet. The other thing is pumped. Like it makes complete sense to me that it would pump. And yeah, I think on the weekly chart, this level actually looks pretty good. Like if you pop up the weekly chart, you can see that.
Here, going back to the chart.
35. That's like actually pretty clean. Like that's sort of like your support right before that nasty breakdown. So that's pretty good target. $35.
I'll take it.
That's nice. It's a hell of a move if you get that, especially if you get that in like a few months or something. That'd be wild.
Well, especially if we get, like you're saying, we bounce back down off of that fair value gap back to the $10 area, and then time to shove.
Yeah, so it's almost like too clean of an entry. Sometimes when these things like really want to go high, like they don't come back and give you like the perfect little retest. Like they just kind of have that impulse move up, and then maybe you get like a quick wick into whatever imbalance it left behind, and then it just goes.
Where you would normally probably in your TA setup, you would normally have like a level that you want to enter. With one of these, particularly in a bull market, you have like a band that you want to enter, and you might widen the band just to say like I will get some,
Yeah, it's just like if you think about like legs of price action, right? Like at the bottom of the very bottom of a leg, like you might have like an old low, right? And then usually above that low, you have what's called like an order block, which is the sort of like area where the big players are filling the blocks of orders, right? Those are the big guys that are pushing price up. That's usually like in slower moving markets or in markets that go up and then have like a really nasty retrace. Like that's kind of where you can look to get your entry. But after the order block, you often get that impulse move that leaves like the gap, you know, an imbalance, a fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. So in the slower markets, you can kind of wait and slowly enter in those order blocks. But in the fast moving markets, like sometimes you just get a quick wick into the gap that's above those blocks, and you actually don't ever test those blocks. And if you and the moves are they're so rapid, like they just look like wicks on the chart. And you just have to adapt to the market conditions and the conditions of that asset that you're trading. And it's not something that's like formulaic or you just, oh yeah, well if this happens you do that. It like a lot of it is just it's a lot of feel to it for sure, and like understanding like how these things move. But altcoins for sure during bull trends, like when you get the clean retest, often that's actually just the move being over, and then your entry is not very good.
Right. So, okay. So I was going to say something, I don't know if it even applies, but one thing that I like is like with your magic lines here, it gives me sort of an idea of where like the first sort of level would be where like it might struggle to get through. And because I'm already long this thing, and frankly, the options are very cheap in like absolute dollar terms.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like very easy to scoop up a bunch of these.
Wait, did you say you were long options?
Yeah.
What did you say you bought?
I'm at the 11 and 12 strike at different maturities. So
Okay.
like some very short term and some like out to 2025, but nothing like beyond that. And I think what I'm going to consider doing is like selling short dated calls against a position at maybe the $18 level, maybe not the entire bag, but some. Capture some premium on that, roll that in, like just have that premium fund more long calls.
Sounds very scary to me. Selling calls above like a range like this just looks like you're just asking
for trouble.
Yeah, you're just like asking to get yoinked.
But like,
I think.
but when you sell like maybe 40% of your position at $18, that's probably like a good, you know, maybe 30%, whatever it is. That's probably like a good level to take profit anyways, you know, in a 2-week period or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how I normally like to play these things. And that's how I like to sort of trade options. It's like I think about the position I want to have, which is long. And I think about how I can sort of like efficiently use capital to get that long exposure. And it's often like I want to fund my call options for free, I guess.
All right, cool. Well, let's wrap the episode with one. We got a request from the chat. I think it's Ali asking what we think about Uni.
Yeah, I like this one. I
Uniswap.
like Uni.
You're a fan, right?
Well, I don't own any, but I've often thought that this was like the obvious trade hiding in plain sight. So
It's a familiar looking chart.
okay, I'm gonna pull up the chart.
It's a familiar looking chart.
Yeah, this looks like chain link before it's sent.
Yeah, it looks like one of those things where in retrospect you're like, wow, why didn't I buy that? That looks really obvious.
Just this long accumulation range.
Yeah, some dinosaur DeFi is having a moment. I mean, look, this is like potentially the best business in the friggin' world. Like if they just are able to.
Like it's this whole thing is only hinging on a fee switch that they're going to turn on eventually anyway. So like this to me seems kind of like a no-brainer. It's just when do you time it, because you know there are things that are pumping right now and you don't want to like just tie up your capital in this when it just can range bound for
It's
another
like
year.
it's kind of like a game of chicken. Like everybody knows it's going to happen, but also people don't want to be stuck in it for like 10 years before it happens. And I don't know, but it has been written off for
Hold on, I'm gonna go back to the chart.
for so long. I don't know. Did we take that? We haven't really closed above that high there, but that would be, man. That looks interesting. Triple bottom.
The triple bottom.
Yeah, like I mean, Yeah, it's a good looking technical setup. This is the zone that gave you the mega pump like last cycle and just boing boing boing.
Look, this it might not be the fastest horse, right? Like, but this.
Yeah, that's the question you have to ask yourself.
But
like,
this thing could easily just go up quite a bit, and
it's a cool coin to have in like a forever portfolio. I feel like I would feel good about owning Uniswap for like 10 years or something.
I feel very good about that.
And I feel like I don't own any right now, but like I feel like I should at least own like $500 or something. Like, just I feel like I should just get off zero.
But this is one of those ones where I don't feel like you should throw dust at it, because it's like this. If and when the fee switch turns on, this is the best business in crypto.
Yeah, man. Yeah, maybe I should buy some. I mean, where's this gonna go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the chart. Where is this thing gonna go?
I don't know. Like,
if it goes.
I mean, if it goes, it's just it'll go for all-time highs probably. But yeah, I don't know. I'm torn, man. I'm gonna buy a little bit. It looks I don't usually draw these lines, but you got a nice little.
We talking about a descending triangle here? A wedge?
We broke the line.
Okay, yeah.
We've the old diagonal line breakout. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, this looks pretty. Decent. This looks pretty decent. I'm trying to think where you could. I mean, you either just buy here. But yeah, this is like one of those charts where I don't know. Like obviously, your perfect world is like, yeah, you get a retest of that zone that gave you the move up, somewhere in like the $5 range.
I don't even feel like it's going to go back to its diagonal line. Like, I think that's too greedy.
I mean, this is the thing I'm talking about. Like when alts really want to move, you sometimes just get a quick little like yoink down like that and then right back up and then go. So somewhere in this like inefficiency, you run some lows and then you're gone. Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I don't own any, but I feel absurd for not owning any and being in this game for as long as we have been.
Yeah. Max, is it a better business than ETH itself? I mean, kind of.
Sir, David Hoffman's in town. You can't say that.
Yeah,
David Hoffman's in the chat.
Unis it's such a simple thing. You just trade and make fee. Like ETH, you're like, okay, we're gonna do. How many L2s are they gonna be? Are they gonna be accretive? Like, are they just gonna take transactions off the base layer and then the fees go down for? There's all this like calculus you have to do. Uni is just like people buy coins and the token can get revenue, and it's potentially very simple.
And like the unit bias that you mentioned before.
Yes, it's cheap.
It's cheap.
$6.
$6
unicorn. Oh, also it's a freaking unicorn. We should like not underrate that. Actually, it's got some potential meme value.
Very good fundamental
with the
analysis.
Unicorn. All right, yeah, that's the type of grade A analysis you get here. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it there. Thank you everybody for joining us. Hope you got some great ideas.
Wait, hold on. Just
this episode
before we go,
what do you want to do?
No, nothing that I want to do. I just want to celebrate. In addition to $2,300 ETH, in addition to David being in town visiting. It's your birthday tomorrow. I just want to say an early happy birthday, and I want people to know in the chat that it's your birthday and that you get some birthday wishes.
No, thank you. Yeah. It's my party tomorrow. It's not technically my birthday yet. So I share the same birthday with Taylor Swift. So whenever it's Taylor Swift's birthday, you can now know that it is my birthday as well.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to celebrating with you, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun, hopefully. Thanks, Calcium. I appreciate the birthday wishes. I think David's in the chat calling me dumb. Thanks, David. I love you too.
Yeah, I love you, bro.
I love you too. I just draw lines, sir.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining. If you guys aren't subscribed, please do subscribe. All links at alfalfapod.com. Give us a follow on Twitter. Join the Discord. Hop in, chat with us. Tell us how dumb we are. None of this has been financial advice. If you follow my shitcoin plays and lose money, it's on you. Don't be a moron.
Yeah, that's a better like disclaimer. Just don't be a moron.
I am a professional at losing money. I can tell you that. So I can handle it.
Been there.
Yes, been there. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Later, everyone.
And we will close out the stream now.